So we're going to start from a timely matter, and that is the matzav in Eretz Yisrael. The Rebbe, there was such a matzav in Tafshin Nun Aleph. Today, what is called the first Gulf War. There was once a guy who tried to, he said he had a very antique piece of, very antique publication. It was an underground newspaper from World War I. And he wanted to sell it to an antique guy. But the guy rejected it. He said he's sure it's a fake. He said, how do you know it's a fake? He says, because it says World War I. In World War I, nobody knew it was going to be World War I. Only there was a next World War. The World War II made the World War I World War. Understand? So in Tafshin Nun Aleph, it wasn't the first Gulf War. It was the Gulf War. And then the Rebbe was telling everybody that Eretz Yisrael is the safest place in the world. And you see all the footage. People are trying to decide if they're going to make chassanis or they're still going to travel. And the Rebbe is adamant and insistent that Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Hashem Hashem Elokecha Bo. It's not just a pasuk, it's a reality. And here we have a sikha for Tafshin Nun Aleph, a mugidik sikha, where the Rebbe says how we have to look at this time of this tkufa of Nisim. Now, in Tafshin Nun Aleph, I remember when the first scud fell. You see, the way we understood, usually the way we understood the Rebbe's words, it meant that no scud missiles, that Saddam was threatening he's going to throw scud missiles, and it's not going to come to Eretz Yisrael. It's going to be it's not going to happen. When the first one fell in Eretz Yisrael, there was a collective, momentary shock, and Chassidim we're not sure how to process it. What did that mean? The Rebbe said it's not going to be, and it did, but the Rebbe didn't say that. The Rebbe said it's going to be the safest place in the world. Only after the Scots fell, and they saw that B'Poel there was damage to some property, but the people were safe, understood that we didn't understand what the Rebbe said. What the Rebbe said, and it was Mekuyim, but not always do you understand. Is it Mekuyim in the way you think you're going to understand what the Rebbe meant? And anyway, I'll call upon him, and that kufa the Rebbe said, the Sikha, the Eis Yud over here, in Mishalach Yud Aleph Shvat, Tafshin Nun Aleph, the Limud Fayedi Eid, in the Yonim Amun, the Eila, Eid Afissen as nit kukendik. If dem, was gefindt sich an Neshama beguf in a Welt mit Elam, und a Welt, was wird geführt, lechael al Pichuki Ateva, is der Yid Lamaila mit Derech Ateva. Eid is allemal verbunden mit dem Ebersten, weil es der Melech und Balabas auf Kol Elam Kulei, und der Eberste hit und beschützt ihn von allen Sachen, hinter Leonim, weil Hashem Yisrael. Und Jeis hat der Eberste ist nicht gebunden, chas v'shalom, so da Ateva, hat bechel zu tun Nisim ad ein Keitz und verwemmen tut Nisim, veram kreve die jüdische Volk. So the Eberste, even though we're living in a Tevedik world, but we're connected with the Eberste can do Nisim, unlimited Nisim. Nisim by is compelling it. Mit jede Eden passiert Nisim b'chol yom v'yom. Nisim gluyim, oder Nisim nistorim. Bis bebechina shem bal anes makim. Nisim by Yid, it's a standard. Nisim always operating by him. Ubimiyuchad, mit untergestrochen durch Abesenes Yenim Efrat Chak Melchom Yadmun Siderenu. Als bimiyuchad bizmanim elu, kann Yid zen bei sich in sein Leben Ashkocha Protes. Durch Heisbonus Kalle in die Passierungen, was haben mit dem geschehen, beim Meshach von Mesla es, kann sehen Ashkocha Protes und Nisim gluyim in Hashomayim, darf nur auföffnen dagegen, was wird das sehen. It says in our times we can mamish see Ashkocha Protes and open our eyes and see Nisim. Uveim advorim amurim wegen Iden b'chol Elam Kuli ad der Eibishter macht, was ständig Nisim. Allah's kam bei Eden in Eretz HaKodesh, Eretz HaShetom B'dei Hashem L'kecha B'Rish Nashon V'Adach Rishon. So certainly the Eibishter is making Nisim for Eden, about which it says that the Eini Hashem L'kecha, but the Ashkoch of the Eibishter is even more powerful in Eretz Yisrael. Man darf nicht und man soll nicht davon ankommen zu den Nisim, welchen belehnt in the Zeitungen. In those days there were newspapers. Shouldn't have to come onto the Nisim we're reading in the newspapers as a goy hat aruf geschossen a missile l'mayla, that the goy shot a missile up, when a goy from Chassidei Elam hat him arab geschossen, and then came another guy from Chassidei took it down. Don't forget, in those days, the only protection in Eretz Yisrael from one missile shooting down another missile was the American Patriot missile system. Israel hadn't developed its own technology then at all. America shipped Patriot, what was called then Patriot missiles, and it shot down Scuds. So one guy, a Sain is shooting a missile, and Chassidus U'Meseilam is shooting it down, and that's an Eifen Nisi. We shouldn't even need this kind of nisim. And the Rebbe goes on to say, zusammen damit, was Said darf dann kol atol bei bavede bekeach atzmech bidarkei hateva. Yid has to do whatever he can with darkei hateva. But together with that, darf jede Yid haben betochen gomor. On keine Sveikes. Der Eibishter wird ihm geben alle Guts. So he has to have betochen. The Eibishter is going to give him everything good. And the Rebbe zeichen to the Geskedis of the Rebbe that person has to do whatever he can do, but he has to be without any suffix that everything's going to work out. That we're all into. We all learn this about betochen. Und geschehen wie Geula ist alone eine Kammer befahren. Aber wir wollen mit Gizre Yamsov ist zwei bis nehmen same Stiba. But Ovanik was also Shiur Geula schon Achus Platz gibt alle the same with the Eibishter Kasar of Mitzrayim, and we sang Azeve der Eibishter sicher ta ne chitzter. Wir kaim sein vieles bnei so she kaim lanu after Chosei ve'monasei the Goaleinu miyad melachim miyad oritzim. So the Eibishter will certainly fulfill now also to take us out to the Geula. All the regular nisim, when the fun is verstandig, as durch der Betochen gekommen dem Eibishter. When a Yid has perfect trust in the Eibishter, darf a Yid befrat b'Shabbat Shira. This was a Sicha in Shabbat Shira. Darf a Yid stehen besimcha und sagen Shira zu dem Eibishter neben den Nisim, was tut und was wird tun. Yes, say Nisim for the miracles that the Eibishter does and the Nisim what the Eibishter is going to do. And here the Rebbe Zeichen to page 150, 153, the Ei Shalah, the Shnei Luchas Habris, the Bishaya Levi Horowitz, the Sefer Shalah, Chelik Tesh Biksav, Pashaseinu, Bebiur Divrei HaMedrash. The Medrash says, Asidin Yisrael Leim Ashir Alasid Lavei. Kleimar, Asidim Kshis, Basru Laga Ula, Yem Roshir Al Masha Asid Lavei. The Yidden will say Shira for the Nisim that they're told are going to happen. They're going to, in advance, say Shira. The Rebbe says you should go look there in the Hemshech. So I printed for you the Shalah because it's a Nifledike Shalah. And I didn't see that everybody should be so bahabit with them. But once you understand, once you learn through this shtickle Shalah, wherever you go in the world, and you want to talk about Inyani Geulah Moshiach, and quote a source that everybody will, hands down, will understand that this is, when you tell it to them, they'll think it's something recent. From one of, they'll say, oh, you saw it somewhere recently in the last generation. You'll tell them that this is, when the Shalom was 400 years ago. This is noch. It says about the Alter Rebbe, they said before he went to Mizrit, she was a Shaloyid, right? Shaloh was the Pnimius before the Baal Shem Tov, those that followed Kabbalah and Pnimius and so on were davening with Kavanas HaShaloh, with the Shaloh Siddur and so on. Anyway, here's our shtickle Shaloh. Take a look here. Oid Yeshli is Beinin. The second column, Lamed Ches, second column. Oid Yeshli is Beinin. Ksiv Ashira Azois. V'Amir Azal, Ato Ashira b'Lashon Nekeva. Mawa Inyan. Why is it Ashira? Why isn't Shir? Oid Yesh Kushya. B'Shiras Ho Anoshim Ksiv Ashira Azois Lashon Nekeva. When the men are singing, it says Lashon Nekeva. U'B'Shiras Hanoshim Nisapich Milashon Nekeva Lashon Zocha. Where is the Lashon Zocha by Miriam's Shira? It says Vatan Lohem. Miriam. It should say Vatan Lohen. She's speaking to women. Shirul Hashem ki goy go v'lohem u'lashon zocher. V'lohen have a little maimer. She said lohen. So here is interesting. The Shalah gives that tzachus. Listen to this tzachus. V'anshe ha-tzachus v'hamelitza oimrim she'Miriam im hanoshim lo yamru shira ki hanoshim p'tureis. The taka, the women didn't say v'atan lohem. It's because the women didn't say. Miriam was speaking to the men. Why? The women yatsu betupim u'mecheles l'smayach. They came out with the tambourines and the drums to make a freilach. Uvo kamo bachure Yisrael liris b'simchasam. So came some bachim, some young chaver that wanted to see the. You're laughing at the tzachos. They wanted to see the. Weißt doch, Stutzach dort bei der Weibishul, there's noises. So, va'az tzarka Miriam. So Miriam hat sie angeschrien. Vatan lahem, lechula aleichem b'makim she'emrim ha'anashim shira. Vatan lahem, get out of here. You go to the men. You don't belong here to see what's going on by the women. Yeah. V'gam atem, shiru la'Hashem ki goy go, and you go say shira with Moshe and the men. Anyway, that's a tzachus doctor. But the Shalom rejects it. אבל רז"ל מנגדים דבר זה, שאומר כמו שאומר משה רבנו ושלום שירה וישראל, אנו אחריו כן, וישראל, אנו אחריו כן אמר מרים ואנשים אחריה. Chazal tell us clearly that there was a shira, vatan le Miriam. Miriam led the women b'shira. It's not that they were just doing tupim and mechelis, they were doing shira. Ey bazei bleiben with the shaila, why vatan lohem? Lashon zachar, vatan lohen. And why hashira hazeh is lashon nekeva? So we all know Ashira because, especially we're going to have the Haggadah, the Nedel Chashir Chadash, that all Shiras till Moshiach comes is only in the cave. It's not the final Geulah. But from this thing, the Shalah is going to go on a different gang here. And this is as follows. The Amru ein Geimerim Halal b'Zayin Shel Pesach and Shvi Shel Pesach. We don't say entire Halal. After Yom Tov, why don't we say whole Halal? Shum sha'amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ma'aseh Yodai tovu b'yam v'atem emrim shira. Ma'aseh Yodai, my people, they're drowning, and you're going to say shira. V'chein amar Razal al b'tzeis ha'cholutz emrim heidel Hashem v'lo yomru ki teiv. V'kosh hazeh, frek the Shalah, le'ksiv ba'aved Rishayim Rina. There's a pasuk that when the Rishayim are destroyed, Rina, it's simcha. So why Ma'aseh Yodai tovu b'yam v'atem emrim shira? Why not? Yeah. I'm going to jump over this, run through this. The ain bahem mesayim legamri, aber b'shleinis malis asav yesh b'madayin ez adov atayv rak HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'abdom b'shvil Yisrael zeh ma'aseh yodai. V'chein hayu be'ibud anas lehem lenis malis asam le'ibud godel kazeh, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu asma v'ri Yisrael v'zeh shechas v'alei Yisrael v'chein sibim b'nei Yisrael klem b'shvil Yisrael shirikus v'naseh ibud godel kazeh. Abnam shivim panim l'teres. So he gives a word. Shalah says a word in the Zohar that if the goyim are not fully, if they're not fully wicked, where there's ba'aved Rishayim Rina, if they still have something good in them, but mitzad the b'nei Yisrael, Hashem has to save b'nei Yisrael, so He destroys the Rishayim even though they're salvageable. So yemalt, you can't say shira. But the Shalat doesn't stop at this answer. He says shivim panim l'teira, and I'm going to give another answer. Nuchel l'taretz binyan acher. V'yizbar al pi medrash Rabbah. So let's first look at a medrash and verstehen a yisod in how we have to say shira. Zok the medrash Zelle sheinei tashuri meirei shamana. So the pasuk in Shir Hashirim says tashuri meirei shamana. Really, there tashuri means meloshen ashurenu, to see. But here, Tashuri, the Medrash is going to learn Melashon Shira. Tashuri mirei shamana, asidim Yisrael leim hashira, zok the Medrash. In the future, the Bnei Yisrael will say Shira, la'asid lavai in the future. Shenem Shira la'Hashem, shir chodesh ki niflois asa, sing to Hashem a new song, because Hashem has done niflois. Uve'ezeh schus eimim Yisrael Shira. But what schus Yisrael say Shira? B'schus Avram, shehemim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They say Shira, Tashuri, they say Shira Meirosh, because the first Yid was Amana, was a Maimin in Hashem. Shneim vehemin b'Hashem. Hi ha'emunah she'Yisrael neichalim ba. That's the emunah that we have. Comes from the Rosh, comes from the first Maimin, from Avraham Avinu. And Tashuri, that's why we sing, because of the kayach of the emunah of the Rosh of Avraham Avinu. V'alav ha'kosav eimeh v'tzadik v'menaseh yichir. Heve Tashuri Meirosh Amana, we say Shira b'schus the emunah of Avraham Avinu. Frek the Shalom nam kosher. Asidim, this lashon of the Medrash, Asidim Yisrael, sheyomru la'asid lavei hu kefel. It should have said either Asidim Yisrael leim hashira, in the future, Bnei Yisrael say shira, or it should say that la'asid lavei that Yisrael Yom Roshira Lasid Laved. Why the double lashon? Asidim Yisrael Lo Mashira Lasid Laved. In the future, the Yidden will say a shira in the future. What's that double lashon? Ha'inenu. Gam zeh tzarich bir mashkos be'ezeh schus. With what schus do they say shira? You need a schus to say shira. You say shira. If something good happens, you say shira. Ha'inenu. Midas hatzadikim hu miyad shehuftechu ledavar tov lo mashir v'shevach l'Hashem yisbarach miyad. Tzadikim immediately b'shas they get a psura teva. They have such a feeling that they say right away shira. Afsha dayin leiniskayim, even though it wasn't fulfilled yet. Kizehu midas ha'emunah shema'iminim b'dvarav baruch hu baruch shmai. This is their midah of emunah that they already, when they get a haftacha, it's already a done deal. Umasha Moshe Rabbeinu icher milei mashirat shenasu ha'maasim. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu not say shira till after the Egyptians were already expelled and they saw them dead on the sea after Kriyas Yam Suf? Sagte that's b'shvil shadayin lo hisa emunah chazaka b'Yisrael. The Yidden were not holding there that darga of emunah that when Hashem says va'atem tacharishun daber b'nei Yisrael b'Yisrael, they didn't start saying shira then. They weren't yet mature in their emunah. V'hador dichsiv v'yaminu b'Hashem of Moshe Avdei oz Yashem Moshe b'nei Yisrael. They believed in him after Kriyas Yam Suf, and then they sang. Kleimar oz ba'eisei pam shar Moshe v'lei mikaydem miyad shuftach mi'akadosh baruch hu shiv kayam. Then Moshe Rabbeinu, that time Moshe Rabbeinu had to wait and not sing right away when he had the haftach, but he had to wait for the Kriyas Yam. Because only then Bnei Yisrael got to the level of emunah where they could say a shira. We all know in Perek Chelek, in the Suya of Moshiach, why didn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu make Chizkiyahu Mashiach? The Midas Adin said like this: Uma David Melech Yisrael Shamar Kamo Shiras V'Tishbachs V'Vanecha V'Lo Yossi Say Mashiach. David HaMelech is full of Shiras V'Tishbachs, and you didn't make a Mashiach. Chizkiya Shalei Omer L'Fanecha. Chizkiya, you made him a nes. He didn't say a shira for you. You're gonna make him Mashiach. Frag the Shalom V'Kasha V'Michtav L'Chizkiyahu. If there's a parak in Chizkiyahu says Michtav L'Chizkiyahu, where he does say shira, he does give a danked up to Meibishtan that he had a miracle that Hashem, he was dying. Hashem brought him back, gave him a refuah. He didn't say shira, he did say. Zok the Shalom Lo Amar Lefanecha Shira Elo Lefanecha Daika. He didn't say shira before. Kleimish Lehikdim Lo Mar Shira Kedem Shasisa Bepayel Mashiftachtas Eisei. Chizkiyahu didn't say shira Lo Amar Shira Lefanecha. He didn't say shira before the nes happened. Right away when he had the haftacha. Ki hoya lo teikef li slabish be'emunah v'lo Mar Shira Lefanecha Kedem Sheis Hadavar. He should have said shira immediately before the thing even happened. It's unbelievable. Now we can understand the words of the Medrash. That Asid in Yisrael, in the future, the Yidden will be at a darga of emunah, that they'll say shira about La'asid Lavai. Heshes Kashis Basru La Geulah, Asid in Yisrael, in the future, the Yidden will get to a tkufa, where once they have the besura, Yomru Shira al Masha Asid Lavai, they'll say the shira about what's going to happen. Hainu al Anisim Sheyavayu, Sheis Basru Aleim, Yakdimu L'Sheirer Miyad. The moment they get the besura Geulah, they'll already start freyin zach as if it happened. V'yu b'chayzek emunasam ki'ilu nasa, and they'll have such a strong emunah as if it happened. Zeu shiru l'Hashem shir chodosh. Sing to Hashem shir chodosh. Ki niflois asa. Only afterwards come the niflois. First comes the shira. Why do we need a schus to say shira? To say a regular shira after something good happens, you don't need a special schus. But here we're talking about a unique kind of shira. With what schus can Yidden come and say shira on this eifen? Kleimar, taschil l'shira meireish, tashuri. Zog shira meireish, noch for ois. before it happens. Where can you get to such an incredible feeling of shira for a psura even before it happens? That can only come from emunah. Where do we get such an emunah from? That's b'schus Avraham Avinu v'hemin b'Hashem. Now we'll go back to Maaseh Yodai Tevim B'Yam. We said a stira. Maaseh Yodai Tevim B'Yam, you're saying shira? Of course. Ba'avodah shoymrina. Zok to say. Shehikmid HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he says, Maaseh Yodai Tevim B'Yam atem etem shira. Now you're saying shira. You see the Egyptians dead in front of you. Maaseh Yodai Tevim B'Yam. You see it's all. Now you're saying shira. That's not a time to say shira. You should have said it earlier. You were expected to be at the level of emunah where you should have already said shira before. You won the lottery and now you're dancing. That's when you get the psura that you're going to win. Now we're going back to the lashon zocher, lashon nekeva. Listen how he does it. The women talk about Yetzias Mitzrayim, incredible. They went out with tupim and mechelas. What's pshat? The Rebbe would always point this out. They had a stronger emunah. They taka believed when they got the besura. They already believed. They already took out of Mitzrayim. They prepared for the shira. They believed that Hashem would save them. We talk lashon zacher, lashon nekeva. Today it's not politically correct, right? But lashon zacher, lashon nekeva. Zacher is zachrus, is strong, strength. Nekeva is tashash kech, nekeva is weakness. In this inyan of emunah, the women in emunah had a zacher dik emunah. They had a stronger emunah, and the anoshim, they were lashon nekeva. They were shvacher in emunah. Al kain ba'anoshim ksiv lashon nekeva hashira azos uvehanoshim lashon zachar vatan lohem Miriam. Miriam told the women, vatan lohem, yizayit azay stark in emunah. I can use lashon zachar for you, not tashash kechet nekeva, but fakert shiru Hashem. Let's sing a strong shira because the noshim already believe milachatchila. Kachish lataris kushizu achreinu. Yeah, okay. This is the word from Shalom. This is somebody showed me this word a few years ago, and I was always wondering, such a powerful word of Moshiach Geulah, where is it in the Rebbe's Sichos? Is it getzeichent? But then in Tafshin Nun Aleph, when I was learning in Tafshin Nun Aleph, I saw, the Rebbe sensed the Shalom. If I wouldn't have learned the Shalom first, it's a harder, you wouldn't see. But the Rebbe says, Ayin Sham B'Hemshech Ha'inyan. First, a mitzvah to learn with people this shalom. It's a Zelle Chaverta. When I told me mikum bismichus to chafei oder, so it was Shabbos Mashkocha Protis. Somebody was meiler. Take a look here at the Sicha of Sukkot Tafshin Tazayin, as in the nine kapitel from Rebbetzin, the Shiramayis V'Shuv Hashem Shiva Asiyen. The Rebbe quotes a pirush from Talmidei Acheizer, Eis Yud Aleph. Yesh nepizgem echad mit Talmidei Rav Tzadik Milublin. Is one of is the Hilula of Reb Shimon Miyerislav, the Talmidim of the Chayzer. Al Apostle B'Shuv Hashem Esiv Asiyen Oz Yemru V'Goyim. What is it? The pasuk is like this: B'Shuv Hashem Esiv Asiyen Hayirin Kechelvim Oz Yemru V'Goyim. The Goyim will say, Higdil Hashem Lasisim Eila. Hashem did such great things with the Eden. And what will we say? Higdil Hashem Lasisim Ani. You know why Hashem did such great things with us? We were happy. Zokta Azay. Ozbe Vias Mashiach Merimenu Yemru V'Goyim Yishlu V'Goyim. Higdil Hashem Lasisim Eila. Mazer Higdil Hashem Lasim Yisoshem Madreg Del Kokach. But they wish to make the Eden so big, brought them such a Geula of Moshiach. V'Yashiva Yisem Yisrael. The Eden will answer. Higdil Hashem Lasim Onu Mashiach Higdil Lasim Onu. Why did he make us such a big darga? Because we were happy with everything that came upon us. Interesting that if you read this just like this, kol haba aleinu sounds that we're happy no matter what comes upon us. right? Even though that lag vakeles bagoyim nechshavik scientifica the other the we say in Tachnun uvachol zeis shimcha leishachachnu and we if this Hashem besimcha skumtons, that's a big darga. But could be that this al kol haba aleinu was also, if you take it in the context of the Shalah, and could be that's what he means, that al kol, we're already besimcha al kol haba aleinu on what's coming, not we're matzdik asadin. No. We're besimcha lam reis everything we have. Paket al kol haba aleinu that we already nachfar them, that the Geulah comes, we're already besimcha to be able to. Because we have a haftacha about the Geulah, so we already have simcha in order to be able to be bring out our emunah in a eifin of simcha, in a eifin of gilui. No. Can't hear Lonu. Head of your menu.